Hi, hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Joe D. Let me take the glasses off here for a minute. How you doing? It's Joe D. It's Christmas Eve, so 2017. So Merry Christmas Eve to you all, and tomorrow being Christmas, and I hope you enjoy your Christmas with your family and your friends or whoever you're spending time with, or by yourself. And here we are. You know what I'm saying? So we'll share our. So I thought maybe we could. Hey, how you doing, man? How you doing, Lee? I had never seen you in here before, man. It's good to see you, man. I thought this. It just came to me, man. I was watching. I woke up and had my coffee. It's 8:30 in the morning here in Phoenix. It's about what 38 degrees here in Phoenix. Expecting a high of 69 or so. Roughly within a degree or two or three. Um, but for now it's 38, so people here consider that freezing, and I'm like, that's just the low. That's the low temperature, man. That ain't the high. It's supposed to be close to 70, so give me a break. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's good, man. Good to hear that, Lee. And so I'm having my morning cup of coffee, and it came to me, man. I thought, because of course I'm gonna watch football, man. So this ain't gonna be a long show. This is literally over. The intention is, at least, I'll start by saying that, but it can't go long because I gotta watch my Rams. You guys know that. As a matter of fact, I should be wearing my Rams shirt, but I haven't even prepared. This was spur of the moment. You know what I'm saying? But I thought, you know what, man? While we're hmm, by the way, this is a Sumach. You got to pinky out this kind of crap, right? This is a Sumatran blend, whole bean, grinded. You know what I'm saying? I literally, I have a little bit of a. I'm not a snob, but I do like my coffee fresh ground. And so I do. I have one of those coffee makers that grinds it and then brews it, and I've had it so long I don't even remember what setting it's on anymore. I just know that you hear it, and then you smell the wonderful goodness. You know what I'm saying? But it is a Sumatran blend. I forget which Sumatran brew I get, but I typically get a dark roast. I like a darker roast. I like that more of a, that little jolt in the morning. I get the full caffeinated version of stuff too. So no decaf in this bad boy. Um, but I thought, over a morning cup of coffee, why not talk about whatever comes to mind? You know what I'm saying? We try to keep religion and politics out of this sort of thing so we all get along. So there's some peace in the world. You know what I'm saying? But I thought, I was watching getting caught up on my this morning sports center and all that, and I forgot there was football on yesterday. I just I forgot, you know what I'm saying? I forgot there was Saturday football, and hell, I even not who played. I think it was Minnesota and somebody. Let me dial up to NFL.com. Let me see. I could spell I'm saying NFL, and I'm like, how do you spell NFL? I'm like, it wasn't translating to my fingers. My brain was saying it. I'm like, yeah, NFL. Let me go to NFL.com. Duh. And my fingers are like, LF? No. You know what I'm saying? So I haven't had enough coffee yet. You know what I'm saying? So let's see here. Hey, Jordan, what's up? Oh, Packers. There you go. Thank you. Thank you, man. Um, but I thought, let's have a discussion about whatever. You know what I'm saying? And typically today on Sunday morning, Christmas Eve morning, it's going to be probably something Christmas related, or I was watching TV. Anyway, I was telling you I was getting caught up on my morning sports center. So yeah, they were talking about the football, and I was like, I missed football. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those deals. As a cord cutter, don't you feel? I'm a cord cutter, big time. I've been a cord cutter for a few years already now, 2 3 years already, and I just feel like disconnected from the NFL in a way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, it's been great. The Rams. Jordan says your Rams are playing amazing, and I am so happy over this. You know what I'm saying? I was wearing my Rams gear yesterday while I was out and about in Phoenix, doing some shopping and getting all this love from everybody, man. And then I ran into I was in an outdoor little shopping mall where all it those shopping center those malls now they're like outdoor malls, and it's kind of cool. It's really the only type of mall I like to go to. They're the outdoor type, and you have parking all over the place, and you could literally like park in front of your store almost and just go right in, but still walk around. They still have music playing and stuff. I like that type of mall. I don't mind going to that because I can kind of go to my store and get out. But they had part of it coned off or whatever, and they were having like this event. So they had in the main drag there, they were having all these booths and people were selling stuff. And so as I'm walking in, I'm checking it out, and they had the Waffle Love truck out there, dog. Whoo, I love those fresh waffles out of the truck. You know what I'm saying? And they make those real nice big waffles with the fresh whipped cream, and then they'll put ice cream on there too if you want it. And I like to get I should have took a picture of it, but I don't. I've posted on my Instagram pictures of them before. But normally when they come over here to my neck of the woods, that same truck, it's called Waffle Love. It's literally, if you want to look them up, they're literally called Waffle Love here in Phoenix. And that truck is super popular when it comes to the dairy over here by me. I mean, there is a line like you wouldn't believe. I mean, they pack it out over there. But over there at this particular mall I was at yesterday, there was no line or nothing. So I got me a waffle. I was all happy. Woo! Didn't have to wait in line. I was doing my waffle thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, I didn't have to wait in line. You know what I'm saying? And I got my strawberries and cream waffle, and I was all happy. I ate that. And I was walking around. I'm like, yeah, this is kind of nice. They had a little train riding around, and some dude had made a little homemade little train deal, riding kids around the mall there, give I don't know a couple bucks for a ride on the train, and then I'm walking around, people giving me love, my Rams gear on, hey, the Rams, man, they kicking ass and all this and that, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, man, yeah, we doing pretty good and all this. And then I ran into a Seahawks fan in the booth. She was wearing all her Seahawks gear, and I stood at a distance, and I was like, because I have my Rams, but boom, right? In my size shirt, it's a big logo. You know what I mean? Like, bam, And I was like, and I was pointing at her, and I was like, she was like, so it was a lot of fun, man. We had a conversation, and it was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, when Jordan say, man, your Rams are playing amazing, they sure are. I am loving it. You know what I'm saying? When your team is winning, and whatever league it may be, when your team is winning, it's just awesome. You know what I'm saying? And been a Laker fan for a long time as well, and the Lakers have had a lot of seasons where it's just been, as a Laker fan, you're almost kind of like probably like the Patriots feel right now. I don't really tune in to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Because you just know they're going to be there. And the Rams are kind of they've been in a downside for quite a while, so it's nice to get a good winning season in there. It's been a lot of fun. But anyway, I got caught up on that, and then I'm flipping through. I have DirecTV now, and that's how I can watch like kind of cable on as a cord cutter. That's my service that I use. And some people use Sling TV, some people use YouTube TV, but YouTube TV doesn't play, at least on the Apple TV, to stream to your to put on your big TV in your living room. They don't have the app yet for whatever reason. YouTube TV ain't bad. I don't want to get into all those things right now, but so anyway, DirecTV showing me different things that I might be interested in, and it brought up that Big Three. Has anybody watched the Big Three? So right now they're having this like Big Three marathon or whatever that's going on, and it's kind of cool, man. I watched a couple of games, and I'm like, this ain't bad basketball. It's trying to get used to some of the rules and stuff. It was a little easy, but kind of seeing how their implementation of a 3-on-3 game, kind of half court game that you would play in the park, but just kind of official. So they put, real refs and real rules to it. Kind of the same rules that you kind of, have between you when you're playing in the backyard court. So it's kind of a cool game, and it got me to think, maybe we should have a conversation about it. So I said, you know what, maybe we're coming towards the end of the NFL season, the playoffs and stuff. So I thought, it might be something I could do on a Sunday, maybe if there's some interest in that, over Sunday morning coffee, maybe for people on the East Coast go to church or whatever the case may be, have a quick discussion over a morning cup of coffee. So as this cup dwindles down, as the intention of this show comes to a close, you know what I'm saying? So we've got a coach in there. Oh, you're working today. Okay. All right. Maybe he's coaching. And Jordan, that's why I love, let me see. Oh, Lisa's, I think I'm going to church today. Not sure though. Okay. And Jordan says, that's why I love when I go to the States. Oh, okay. So where are you at, Jordan? I'd be interested to know where you're at. I tried that Sri Lanka Urbach smoked beer yesterday. Really liked it. Oh, awesome. I'll look that up here in a second. He's a Giants fan, so he knows. Actually, the Giants, if you're talking football, are playing here today in Phoenix. As you probably know, as a Giants fan, I sold those tickets. I was supposed to take my daughter today. Actually, she was supposed to be here a couple days ago, and that was my gift to her, was taking her to that ball game because she's a big Giants fan. My oldest daughter's from New York, so I used to be stationed in New York when I was in the service. And so my oldest daughter's from New York, so she's a Giants fan. And my youngest daughter I brought here, she got to see Dallas earlier this year. She's a Dallas fan. Oh, I know. I raised one of those. I'm still coming to terms with that. You know what I'm saying? One of those. That's like the worst possible thing that can happen to a parent. If you raise one of those Dallas fans, you're like, where did I go wrong? You know what I'm saying? So, but no, I took her to, and they of course won because the Cardinals suck this year. So, yeah, they won. Dallas won that game, so she was pretty happy, and good for her. She came out here and saw her team. Unfortunately, my oldest daughter didn't quite work out, so she's having to watch it on TV. Watch her team on TV, and who knows who wins that game actually? Because right now the Giants suck, and so do the Cardinals. So that's a coin toss on who wins that game. But if you're a fan of the Cardinals or of the Giants, it'll be competitive. Then you're kind of like, hey, who knows who wins? You know what I'm saying? But each team kind of needs a win going into the off season because you want to have momentum. You know what I'm saying? You want to know, okay, where are we at as a team? Trust me, I know there've been plenty of losing seasons for the Rams. So, coach is in the finals in his fantasy. Good. So let me see this. What do you got? One more week. So this might be your kind of championships, and then next week might be your Super Bowl or something. Or how does that? I haven't played fantasy in years and years and years, man. It's been a long time. I'm out of the loop on fantasy. I know. See, David saying that. He says, I can't believe the NFL playoffs are almost here. Feels like the season just started. I know. Trust me. As a season ticket holder, right now I have the Cardinals season tickets. I had Rams and Cardinals last year, but this year just the Cardinals. The Rams are you know, they're sending me a lot of email trying to get me back as a season ticket holder, and it's tempting, but I probably won't still. Um, I do get to see the Rams when they come here every year, so that's a big perk. Plus, the Cardinals have a fantastic stadium here. So, hey, Neri, what's up? We're having a morning cup of coffee, my friend. So for us, it's morning. For Neri, it's afternoon, man. It's like, hey, what's up? You know what I'm saying? I've been up half the day. I'm ready for a beer. You know what I'm saying? But for us, it's morning. It's 8:42 now in the morning here in Phoenix, and so I figured we'd jump on, have the morning cup of coffee, have a morning discussion about whatever, man. It doesn't have to be beer. It could be about coffee. It could be anything. And like I said earlier, I'm having a Sumatran blend here, dark roast. Yeah, see, it's it's 3:40 over there. So yeah, he's like, yeah, it's beer time. I'm cracking open another imperial stout or some kind of Belgian triple or something. Yeah. Mm. This is that. I could go if I was a super coffee snob, I would go full on pinky out. Oh, this is a Sumatran blend in dark roasted, you know what I'm saying, with this and that, and ground to a nice mild ground so that we get all the you know what I'm saying, all that sort of thing. But mm, now, some of the hardcore don't. I don't know how you feel about cream in your coffee, or sweetener in your coffee, or sugar in your coffee, or honey in your coffee, milk in your coffee. There's all a million different ways to do that. Same thing with tea, right? If you have morning tea, or if you're just having tea, period. Some people, same thing with coffee, right? And you sweeten it or non-sweeten it, and all this sort of thing. Uh, right, because that's coffee snob voice, man. That's the way coffee snob, dude. Coffee snobs are hardcore. Have you heard all this stuff? Okay, let's do this. All right. If you're a hardcore coffee snob, all right, hardcore, you measure everything. You literally measure everything. You measure, and to the T, like you measure it to the T. You measure the exact amount of beans you put in there. They have really my like I said, I've had my coffee maker for ooh, probably ooh, I would imagine 12 years. You know what I'm saying? It's a really nice machine. Like I said, it's a simple deal. It comes into what? Let's see, one, two, three pieces. It goes into three pieces and makes it super simple, easy to wash, easy to clean. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I liked it. And I don't see any of them like it anymore. The ones that grind and brew, go into all these different complicated pieces. And this one's so nice. I don't see anything like it anymore. Wasn't that expensive at the time. Uh, but there's these machines now that are, I mean, the hardcore get these really precise grinders and the grinders aren't super expensive, but they'll they have their things the different ways of actually filtering the coffee grounds once they grind it, and they have these warmers that warm the water to a specific temperature because you want every cup the same, right? They want to make sure every cup is the same. So you precisely measure everything. The water temperature has to be the same. The water has to be filtered a particular way. It gets bad with coffee, man. I'm telling you. And then it's a matter of, okay, this is a huge thing in coffee or tea, because tea gets just as bad as well. I know that. Even though I drink a lot of tea, I'm not it's just tea bags. It ain't like I just buy the stupid things and that is the caffeine free stuff. This has got all the stuff in it, all the caffeine and everything in there, right? The stuff that I drink, the teas are just these flavor foo pinky out teas and put the bag, and you know what I'm saying? And but The hardcore have the separate tea leaves, and they put it in the, and they have the steeper, and they put it in there, and then they have the temperature. It's literally the same. It's just tea instead of coffee, and so they have these precise devices that bring the water to a specific temperature, and they pour it a certain way, and it has to sit a certain amount of time before you actually sip it. Oh my God, it gets bad. Hey, what's up, Tom? How you doing, brother? We it gets bad, man. It does. It gets crazy. Hey, we got Paul in there too, man. What's up? Um, yes, Merry Christmas, man. Merry Christmas. This is the Christmas Eve edition. I thought maybe if we're closing on the NFL season, and so for a lot of us, you're a sports fan, but not necessarily all sports. You pretty much just like football, but there's always a huge hole as soon as football's over. It's like, oh. And as you go into the playoffs, you're happy to see the playoffs because you want to see everything, how it plays out and who wins and all this sort of thing. And if your team's in it, especially, it's exciting. It's really exciting. But even if you're not a fan of some of the teams that are in the playoffs or going into the Super Bowl, it can still be exciting depending on what level of NFL fan you are. But it's always sad the closer you get to the Super Bowl as well, which is that very first weekend in February. It's always sad because you're like, no football for, I don't know, how many weeks is it with no football? You got the first weekend in January until that first weekend in September. I don't know how many weeks that is. Let's call it 10, or let's call it, I don't know how many weeks it is, but it's a bunch of weeks. And you're like, oh. I think it's 6 months or 5 months with no football. Something like that, right? And you're like, oh. So I was thinking, if there's an appetite for this, literally over one cup of coffee, and I'm already about this far into my cup right here. I'll have to remember not to bring the white cup because it's getting blown out here on the, but I thought we could have a quick discussion over a morning cup of coffee. We've got Earth in there. What's up, brother? Now, see, Earth is more from my region of the country, so it's even on the East Coast, it's already almost 11. So now in Neri's part of the world, which is the Netherlands, Holland, he's in Holland, so it's already almost 4 in the afternoon. So Neri's like, dude, pop the top and let me show you all the smoke before I pour my triple. My Belgian triple, you know what I'm saying? Screw the coffee. I'm ready for some beer. You know what I'm saying? But for a lot of us on the East Coast, you might be, almost walking out the door, going to church or something like that, Christmas Eve. Now, I'm kind of interested because I know for some people, Christmas Eve is actually the big day because you do Christmas Eve night with the big part of your family. And for some, and it seems to be, it is kind of a religious thing, I think, because if you're Catholic, it seems if you're Catholic, and then depending on your ethnicity, Christmas Eve is the big day because that's when the big part of your family gets together, the big circle part of your family, right? And you get together at auntie's house or uncle so-and-so's house or grandma's house or someone's house, and maybe you're the house, and everybody gets together, and it's kind of fun. I know in my house, and what feels like now a previous life, Christmas Eve was the big day. And I would make a big, huge thing of pozole and tamales, and you know what I'm saying. You have all that stuff ready Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Day is sometimes a smaller thing. It's just your intimate family, your immediate family, and you're doing that sort of thing. So I'd be interested to know what your traditions are for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. How all that works for you. Because for Thanksgiving, a lot of it seems to be pretty similar. We all eat something similar-ish, right? Slightly different. Some people will do more of a brunch. Some people will do more of a regular lunch. Some people more of a dinner, right? A proper dinner. but it's going to be on Thanksgiving Day. Some people that do work, whatever the case may be, like some guys that work with me will do it on Friday, Thanksgiving, instead of Thursday. Thanksgiving is typically on a Thursday, and they'll do Thanksgiving on Friday because, in my case, I don't get off work till Thanksgiving Day from that night. So some guys that I work with actually do it on Friday, the next day. But we're a rare breed. Most people do it on Thursday. So, but with Christmas, you have Christmas Eve and you have Christmas Day, and some families do it different. In some, it's kind of both. And like I said, for some, it's bigger, wide, big family picture on a Christmas Eve, and then more intimate, your smaller circle, if you will. So kind of interested in that. Maybe we could discuss that if you want, and maybe what your traditions are over, in your country, in the Netherlands. What's kind of the big picture traditions over there? How do they do it? Do you even exchange gifts? A lot of people, times are tough, and so a lot of people, it's just like you would run an office sort of thing. You draw names. If you have a huge family, that was a similar thing in that family in my previous life. Because the family's so big. If you were to try to buy presents for everybody, you'd go broke. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of like, well, we get only the kids that aren't in high school because the family's so large. So you just get like the kids, or that sort of thing, or maybe you draw names and so gets a gift or something like that. Paul's saying we do several appetizers and many drinks along with family on Christmas Eve, Santa gifts, and big dinner on Christmas. There you go. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that seems to be what a lot of people do. Hey, we got, what is that? Weird furs. Weird. Yeah, weird furs, right? Or word furs. Word furs. What kind of coffee are you drinking? I'm drinking a Sumatran, dark roasted, kind of a rough grind, I think. Like I said, it's been so long since I sent the setting. I think my grinder goes from 1 to 12, I think, and I think mine's on like a 7 grind, if I'm not mistaken. God, it's been so long since I thought about it. I just figured it out when I first got it, and God, I think I got it in like 2005. So it's been a long time, you know what I'm saying? So I don't even remember. All I know is I hit the button and it grinds it, you know what I'm saying? And it's been really good. So, oh yeah, I was talking about the debate is, do you put cream in it or not? Whole milk, skim milk, the chai and all that. You know what I'm saying? You can go full pinky. You can go kind of curled pinky to with that. You know what I'm saying? It's right now, I have cream in mine. I have cream, and I use the kind of flavored creams that you see in the store. And so right now I have a Reese's peanut butter cup cream. Yeah, baby. Because why? Everybody has seen, if you're on Untapped, you've seen that I'm on this peanut butter kick, man. It's like peanut butter. It's almost like peanut butter cup season right now, isn't it? Because we've got all these peanut butter, chocolate peanut butter beers, right? It feels like it feels like we went from a pumpkin season to a chocolate peanut butter season. No, didn't it? This year it feels more like, boy, there is like chocolate with peanut butter everything. And so right now I'm having a nice Sumatran blend, full erect pinky, as you see. If it's Sumatran, on a 7 grind, and kind of a rough grind, medium rough grind, and heated to blah 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 and blah 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 blah. Right? With Reese's peanut butter, you got to go through all the snobby coffee stuff. With the Reese's peanut butter creamer in it. Right? You know what I'm saying? That's the part where you're like, yeah, you know. Mm. So that part's pretty good. I think I'm finally getting enough coffee in me. You know what I'm saying? Oh, maybe I should put just in case someone might want to jump in and participate. But I'm probably literally only going to be on here for just a few more minutes. But I'll put a link in here just in case someone might want to jump in. Like I was saying earlier, though, I was watching some of that Big Three, and Big Three, if you're an NBA fan, is what it seems like to me. This is my impression. You have Ice Cube, and I think everybody across the globe knows Ice Cube by now. He's a rapper, and and not like he's a professional, Christmas gift rapper, which is a thing I would assume by some people. They can really, here's a bow, boom, and you got this like amazingly wrapped gift. But no, that's not Ice Cube. Ice Cube is one of those in your mama. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the hip hop rapper, man. Come on. And anyway, he is the face of this league. And it's a 3-on-3 league, just like you would play, in the park somewhere or in your local gym somewhere with you and your boys. Kind of the same sort of rules, but just made official with referees. And it looks like there's 5 players on each team, 3-on-3, so they have 2 substitutes. And they play. You still have each shot is 2 points. You have 3-point shots, and then they have a 4-point shot as well. And it kind of goes to 50 points total. So the first team to score 50 points wins, and you have to win by 2. Okay. Now for halftime, the first team to 25 points, that designates halftime. Okay. So I watched a couple of games and I was like, hey, this is I'm other than trying to figure out the rules and kind of how it works and stuff, it was like, okay, this is kind of cool. And it seems like it's retired NBA players or players that played in other leagues across the world, and now they're in their 30s, or I think some of them are early 40s. And, you still have an ability to play at a particular level. And it seems like this 3-on-3 game, because a lot of these old players still play, 3-on-3 in their local gyms or in their local neighborhoods, and kind of, relive nostalgia a little bit. And so this is just making it official, so they can still get some still get some playing time. It's not super heavy duty, but it gives you just enough, and it's on that sort of level. It's kind of entertaining. It's I was like, hey, this is actually all right, like a pregame sort of thing. I was like, this is okay, you know what I'm saying? So I just kind of would like to know your thoughts, maybe if you've seen it, and then with that thought in mind, maybe you heard, maybe you haven't. It sparked something in me, because years ago I was really interested. Let me close some of these alerts that I've got popping up. I was interested in playing in the XFL back in the day. I was going into that second season of the XFL. I was going to try out for a team that was going to be in El Paso, and then I got hurt and couldn't try out. But then the whole league went. It went, you know what I'm saying? But I've been hearing some rumblings that they're thinking about bringing it back, and a lot of people are like, "Come on, man, you tried it one time already, dude." You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Maybe there's an appetite for that sort of thing. I don't know. Maybe if they ran it differently. It does seem like the XFL. It seems like the NFL. I mean, if you're a cord cutter like myself, like you're excluded from a lot of stuff. Okay, Sunday you can you can pretty much watch your team. If I'd have known the games were on yesterday, I could have watched the Saturday games. But it's once you get into the Monday night game, the Thursday night games, they can be a tough watch if you're a cord cutter. Maybe you don't have Amazon. The NFL network is a tough network to get, depending on how you're subscribing to the different services online. So some of those games during the week, and then depending on what's happening, this device right here, your phone. I have an iPhone, but whatever device you're using, maybe you're an Android, maybe you're still a Windows guy. I don't know why, but whatever mobile device you're using, if it's not a tablet, if it's a phone, the NFL's like, no, you cannot watch on a phone. I don't know if you've tried to watch a game on your phone, but it specifically will not let you watch it on your phone, and that sucks. So as more and more people, the amount of cord cutters is growing, and it's cutting into cable subscriptions. If you've been paying attention to that news, 2017 was a major switch from regular cable subscribers to cord cutters. I mean, it's getting almost dead even. It was a major year for cord cutting. People are getting tired of it. So as more people cut the cord, and as these contracts, because I think the NFL would really like to give you their product on whatever device you're watching on. Hey, Swamp, what's up, brother? I never seen Swamp in here, man. Where are you coming from? I'd love to know. But as more people are cutting the cord, it's tough, man, because you're not able to watch the game, and maybe you're on your mobile device. Maybe the device you choose to watch a game on is your phone, and all of a sudden you get blocked out. Even on Sunday, you're like, why can't I watch on my phone? What's the big deal? And what if another league were to come in and say, hey, hey, we'll let you watch on whatever the hell. We don't give a rip. We just want to be out there. You might start watching it. I'm sure all the other leagues you can watch. At least they let you buy their package. The NFL, you can't. They have these, really restrictive contracts from companies like DirecTV and NBC and all these major cable providers. Where those cable providers are restricting the NFL from putting it out there. So they have these weird blackout restrictions, and it's ridiculous. And so you can kind of feel as a cord cutter like they're punishing you for cutting the cord, and they really are. And it's not necessarily NFL; it's their partners, which is the Comcast and the Coxes. I know it says Cox, but it's a legitimate cable service. So they're restricted by those contracts. Actually, DirecTV, NBC's what, the partner company with Comcast or something like that. There's some sort of thing that works out there. Disney, which is a little crazy because Disney just made that deal to buy part of Fox, but not all of Fox. They bought like the movie part of Fox, and then some of the regional sports, but not FX2, all that brand, not Fox, not the main Fox TV or Fox News. But man, if they were to get Fox, then that kind of takes in all our sports, really, because Fox is trying to be a major player in the competitor. They're trying to be a major competitor to ESPN. ESPN already has, Disney already has ESPN. So if they were to acquire the rest of Fox, man, they would lock up both ends of the sports, right? Who is that? Oh, yeah. Oh, let me see. Oh, Joe, the smoked beer I had, you reviewed. Oh, from Bamberg. Oh, yeah, yeah. That particular smoked beer was it more like it was a smoked meat beer, right? Which was fantastic. I remember that. It's been years since I had that. I do keep seeing it in the store. I saw it yesterday, as a matter of fact, when I was at the beer store. If you haven't been, let me dial up my Facebook page here. Oops, boy, I cannot spell today. So I do have a Facebook page, Jody Reviews, on Facebook. Or how do they do it? What is it? Facebook dash or slash? Yeah, Facebook.com/Jody Reviews. And then you'll get my Facebook page. I did post a video only on Facebook of my beer haul yesterday. So here's a look at it, in case you're interested. That's the Facebook page, and I've been trying to get better at posting on Facebook. So I at least post the link to the show on YouTube, so you can catch the shows. And here's some photos from when we went to GABF earlier this year. Kind of a share beer meetup, and I think all of us, it was our first time there at GABF, which was a lot of fun. And there's the owner of me and the owner of Brooklyn Brewing, right there. Poor guy, I caught him over there. But a lot of people dressed up for GABF, and they have different little things that they wear and things like that at GABF. GABF has its own little traditions, which is a lot of fun. But there's that video from my beer haul yesterday, and as you can see in the title I put there, this is what $150 beer haul looks like in December 2017. Picked up some really good beers. As you can see there's the Syntax again. That is becoming, and you know what's kind of cool about that beer from Mother Earth Brewing is it seems to be getting a little cheaper for that 6-pack. So now that 6-pack, for me at least, is down around $9 for a 6-pack, which is what a lot of local beers and everything are starting to go up to. So as that beer has come down in price, there's the local beers are going up in price. So it's kind of evening out, and if everything's even, that local craft beer better be damn good, because the beer out of California is bomb. You know what I'm saying? So, some of these other breweries that have a little bit longer reach, they are good. That's why they've got that reach. So, you know, I'm still buying a lot of craft beer here in Arizona as well. Hey, Lizette, how you doing? I'm having a. She's asking, or I'm assuming it's a lady, but Lizette is asking, what coffee are you drinking? And I am drinking a Sumatran dark roasted blend, full caffeinated coffee on a medium to what would you call it? A medium grind. And you got to go full pinky out with your coffee stuff, right? Because there's some. All you gotta do. I don't necessarily. I relate Starbucks to being at the airport. When I go to the airport, of course, you either pass a Starbucks or see a Starbucks. It's literally the only time I have been to a Starbucks is because a lot of times when I'm going to the airport, I'm in a little bit of a hurry. I want something to drink, and sometimes a Starbucks is like kind of the only place quick that I can even get a water. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe just a quick cup of coffee. And I struggle just to get a plain cup of coffee at a Starbucks, and I never really like it. It's always kind of bitter to me and stuff, and I'm like, ugh. You know what I'm saying? I don't really like Starbucks. But in any case, all you got to do is go to a Starbucks or one of those kind of coffee places and just listen to people, man. They're like, I want to. And don't ask any of them for some help, because, dear God, well, you don't know the rules. You know what I'm saying? You're like, whoa, I didn't mean to offend you, Deezy. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know all the rules. You know what I'm saying? You try to order a large, and that's a small, and blah blah blah. And I don't know. You know. So yeah, it's crazy, man. But yeah, I am. I do grind my own coffee beans. I don't roast. Now, some of the hardcore roast as well. I have two friends. Either one I haven't talked to in a few years, but that I worked with for years, and they have these fancy Italian roasters, that they spent thousands of dollars on. But I have to admit, man, huge difference. They would get the raw coffee beans, which they would pay a lot of money for, and they would order them from all over the world. And that's the hardcore. That's the hardcore for you. They will order the coffee beans, fresh, and roast them themselves. That way, they know exactly. There's no more. It's like a home brewer, really. You know what I'm saying? When you're at that level, because you want to make sure, home brewers. Know exactly what they're making, know exactly, and they love that whole craftiness of it, making something yourself. And that's kind of the way some of the super hardcore coffee guys are too. They want to have full control of every cup they drink. And I have two buddies, and one of them's a little more hardcore than the other one. The other one kind of just has his routine and has a couple of, three or four or five coffees that he likes and sticks within that. My other buddy is really out there. And it's even kind of hard to get him to roast you some coffee. He's a little tight with it. But every once in a while, he'll throw you a little bone. You know what I'm saying? If you bug him enough. But he'll buy the coffee beans, import them from wherever, and roast them himself, roasted at different levels. And it is a difference. I have to admit, when you sample some of that coffee that he roasts, and at whatever particular roast that you might want, it does make a huge difference for sure in the taste. And you do have to kind of taste it fresh. I mean, meaning just pure coffee without any sweetener or without any creamer in it. But also nowadays, it's good to have a real nice cold pressed coffee as well. I do love a good cold pressed coffee, and then kind of warm it with, what are they? I think the preferred temperature is like, is it 210 in Fahrenheit? I think is it 210 or is it 190? It's something like that in Fahrenheit. I don't remember what that is in Celsius, but yeah, it gets crazy with the coffee, man. I've been around it. I'm not a serious coffee snob outside of I like to get whole beans and I do like to, but I just buy it in the store, man. I'll look in the store, whatever they have. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. I don't know all the lingo when you go to is it a coffee bistro or one of those places? But I don't know all the lingo. That's why I don't go in those places. I'll go to like McDonald's or Dunkin' Donuts and get a coffee. I'm not that stuck up about it, but sometimes it's hard to get sometimes it's hard to get a coffee, like when you're at the airport. Sometimes your particular part of the airport you have to go to, depending on what terminal you in, they only have certain stuff, and so sometimes you're stuck going to a Starbucks, and you're like, ugh. Let me see. Jordan says all Saskatchewan Stout is an amazing coffee flavored beer from Canada. Yeah, I need to look up some of these beers. I'm sorry, guys. Let me see. Let me go back here in the chat. Yeah, let me go back to Jordan. Put this other beer in here earlier. Um, let's look that up on Untapped here. Let me pull up my Untapped, and then we'll run a search on it. Let's see here. Da, real quick. I'm almost done with my coffee too, so this show's almost over. A little over an hour, but like I said, if there's an appetite for this sort of thing, because it doesn't have to be beer related. I know I'm a I'm a beer guy, photography guy, but it doesn't have to be. So here we go. We'll check this out here. Oof. I just copy and pasted what he wrote in here. So let me see. Let me pull up another window. Wrong, wrong side here. What's happening? What am I doing here? Let's do a new tab and let's just put that in there. And then what else did he put? Smoke beer. There we go. So let's see.
Oh, yeah, there we go. There's a bitter. This should pull up something for. Oh yeah, there's a Chad's beer reviews too. I don't know if my old, gosh, man, my things have kind of sunk here, haven't they? I used to be on the front page of some of these, but this is a really good smoked beer as well. Let me copy and paste this one and then put that into the Untapped here. Of course, we have to copy and paste everything. We're super lazy these days, right? So you got 27,000 total ratings on here, 782 in the last 30 days, and a 6.5% ABV, 40 IBU brew, 3.79 rating, bottle cap rating. So that's 1 out of 5 stars, if you will, and then 3.79, which is really solid. It really is. Almost a 4 rating on here. I can never say the name of this, but there's the name for you guys if you can read it here. It's a complex sibling of the classic Marzen smoked beer, exactly like the classic. All its barley malts are smoked over beechwood logs. Its higher smoke malt concentration and longer maturation in the 700-year-old cellars underneath at Bromberg create a taste profile of most intense smokiness, beautiful balance, and deep malt sweetness. So this is a German brew, and here's some pictures of it in case you happen to be at your beer store. You can kind of let me go to this grid here, and I think that'll let us rotate through some of the other people's pictures. So in case you happen to be in your beer store, hey, that looks pretty damn good. Hey, why didn't you invite me, bro? Who is this, Ville? So that's a real good look at the bottle right there. So in case you happen to see this, you want to pick it up. There's some smoke inside of a smoke classification of beer. You have a what I would call more of a meat smokiness or more of a wood smokiness, and I know they mentioned wood in here, of course, that they smoked it over wood, but it has more of a meat, smoky flavor. Um, so when you taste it, it's more of the taste of smoked meat than it is so much like campfire type smokiness, right? Just to give you some sort of reference. Um, I think the beers from Germany are more of a meat smokiness, just in general, just to give it a big broad brush, versus beers from like Holland or so forth. I think are more of a like a um, look at woody smokiness, like a campfire type smokiness, and that's not always true, but just generally. And with smoked beers in America, Lord knows what you get. It's we just kind of in America with the breweries here in America just kind of. I mean, you never know. I mean, everybody's just kind of mismatching everything. Um, Coffee also is getting um, very versatile, right? Like you've got some brews now that are nitroing coffee, which looks exactly like a beer when it's poured in a pint glass. I mean, there is no difference. You get that nice. You're having a cold beer. Boy, I've got all these things floating around. Where is that coming from? You got these. You have a cold beer, coffee with a nice frothy head from the nitrogen bubbles, right? And it gives you that creaminess to it, man. Which is just as enjoyable as a Guinness or anything else that's nitroed. So really good, at least. You know what I'm saying? Something worth trying. But this cup is over, guys. Merry Christmas Eve to everybody out there. Whatever your traditions may be, if your traditions like In the state where I lived, the big tradition, since the state was, I believe New Mexico is still 60 or 65% Hispanic. So the big tradition there was Christmas Eve was the big deal, right? And things to make tamales are everywhere. Things to make pozole are everywhere, and people make big pots of pozole and tons of. And I don't see. I see menudo here. Menudo is big in Phoenix. You don't see. It's hard to find pozole here. That's for sure. But I make it, so I don't have a hard time because I'll make it. You know what I'm saying? But you can't find the stuff to make pozole here. You're just because it's basically the same thing without the menudo. So but there's a lot of menudo here versus in New Mexico is a lot of pozole, or in Albuquerque at least. I don't know about, but I think pretty much the whole state's kind of similar. Even down there in Las Cruces, I think it's still similar. But tamales are huge, and tamales are huge here. It's also tamale season here as well for Christmas Eve. So those things kind of are the same. I don't see as many bizcochitos here, and bizcochitos are a big thing in New Mexico as well at this time of year. You'll see a lot of families getting together to make tamales, getting together to make bizcochitos. Those are like family things to do, and then each family, they usually make more than they need and will sell. So a lot of people will sell bizcochitos, and I don't see as much bizcochitos here. I think that might be just a New Mexico thing, but those are traditions that I know from 23 years of living in New Mexico. So I do know those traditions well. And I do miss those traditions. Those are, and I try to do those things here. I don't really care. Biscochitos are really good. How do you explain it? Like a biscuit cookie, but they're with like cinnamon and stuff on them, and they're really good. But depending on who you are and how you make them, some people will put more anise in it than others. Some people put just a little anise in it, and I don't mind a little anise. I'm not a huge black licorice person, so I don't like a lot of anise. And some people will put big chunks of it in there, and some people just barely little hints of it. And some people will put like orange peel in there and get that little thing going. And I'm not a huge fan of like that orange marmalade type of flavor either. So there's different ways to make them. And some people will leave that out altogether, which is fantastic for me because I don't really care for that flavor. But whatever your traditions are, I love that Paul put his traditions in here. And I think a lot of people do this regardless of ethnicity or maybe even religious sort of thing. I think Christmas Eve is kind of the broader family, your big family, or even friends in some cases, and everybody gets together and some sort of exchange of gifts, or maybe just like a Christmas Eve might be, even if there's no gifts involved, it might be more like a Thanksgiving sort of thing where that's just kind of where you have the big meal for some people. And then Christmas Day is more of your intimate family. But whatever your traditions are, man, Merry Christmas to you. It's a great time of year. It's a lot of fun I've been walking up around my neighborhood, and I was walking around last night and walked around the night before, to get some exercise, but also to check out everybody's lights. I have a new neighborhood, and so last year was the first Christmas for me here, and not a lot of people did lights and stuff, but this year people really went all out here. So it's a lot of fun to walk around and see everybody all into their Christmas spirit and stuff. A little tough for me because Phoenix is not super cold or snowy, of course, or anything, so it's a little tough to get into there. When you see people barbecuing in the park on Christmas, you're like, what? You know what I'm saying? So, when baseball games and barbecues are part of your Christmas Day activities, you're like, what? You know what I'm saying? But it's still cool, man. That's the way Christmas is done here. And in my memories of growing up in LA, were very similar as well. You used to have to buy the cans of snow, if you remember that. We'd buy cans of snow and kind of put the cans of snow on your windows to make like they're snowy, you know. And you'd buy like the peanuts, like the white peanuts, and kind of throw them out in different places to make like snowy. That was how I grew up in LA. So I was very lucky to live in a place where actually you would get some snow every once in a while, and look forward to wintertime. So the snow would cover everything. You didn't have to even look at that ugly dead grass, and it was great. You know what I'm saying? And so in any case, man, Merry Christmas to everybody. Enjoy your day, enjoy your holidays, and we'll see you on the other side, man. Peace out. Go Rams!